My name is Sophie. I live in Brooklyn. People say I'm lucky. I have a job, a car, my own small place near Prospect Park, but I feel cold inside. 3 years ago, I thought I met an angel. He wore a fireman's jacket. His eyes were kind. His smile was soft. His name was Liam. I met him on a rainy day. The streets were wet. I was helping an old man who had fallen. Then Liam came. He held the man's hand. He looked at me. I smiled. He smiled back. That was the start. He said, "I lost my mom to the virus." He said, "I want to help people. I want to do good." I believed him. We met again and again, at first by chance, then by plan. He brought me coffee. He called me smart. He said I made him feel safe. And I needed that. My mom died when I was 10. My dad worked at the docks. I had no one to cry to at night. But with Liam, I felt warm again. 3 months later, he asked me to marry him. No ring, just a small chain from his mom. He said, "I want to be yours forever." We got married under a tree in Central Park. Only 5 people came. It was small, it was sweet, and it was the biggest mistake of my life. I didn't know I had just let in a man who would tear me apart piece by piece. I didn't know I had married a man who had lied since the first day, and I didn't know the worst part was still coming. But it was, and when it did, it left a scar I still feel every single day. It was the spring of 2020. The city was quiet. Streets were almost empty. The world had stopped. People stayed home. Many were scared. Many were sick. I signed up to help. Every week, I took food to old people in Queens. Most of them lived alone. Some had no family left. One day, it rained. I had 6 bags in my hands. I was late. My phone was wet. Then I heard a voice. "Let me help you," he said. It was Liam, again. I had not seen him since that day in Brooklyn. He was wearing his fireman jacket. His hair was wet. His smile was the same. He grabbed 3 bags and walked beside me. "You didn't forget me," he said. I smiled. "You didn't let me." That day, we knocked on 10 doors. We gave out soup, bread, milk. Some people cried when they saw us. Later, we sat on a bench near the river. I watched his hands. They were big, red, strong. He told me how he held people during fires. He said he was tired, but he couldn't stop. He told me he lost his mom last month. "She was all I had," he said. He didn't cry, but his voice broke. I didn't even get to say goodbye. I wanted to hold his hand, but I didn't. He looked at me. "I feel safe with you," he said. And just like that, I let him in. I didn't know then, but that was the moment my life would start to fall apart, slowly, quietly, like a fire you don't see, until it burns everything you love. We started seeing each other more. At first, we met on Sundays, then Tuesdays, then every day. He brought me coffee before work. He waited at my place with dinner. He made me laugh. He asked about my day. He said I made his world feel soft again. I didn't know love could feel that warm. that easy. We went for walks in Prospect Park. He told me stories about fires, not just the heat, the people, the fear, the hope. He said, "I see death too often, but with you, I see life." I didn't speak. I just smiled. We watched old movies at my place. He liked ones with happy endings. I liked how he leaned close, how he held my hand like I would break. One night, we sat on the roof. The sky was black. The stars were small. He said, "I don't want to be alone anymore." Then he pulled out a chain. It was silver, old. "This was my mom's," he said. "I don't have much, but I have love." He looked into my eyes. "Will you be mine forever?" My breath stopped. My heart ran. I said yes. We didn't wait. We married under a tree in Central Park. A friend of his said the words. We wore simple clothes. There were 5 people there. We had no cake, no music, no long kiss. But it felt perfect. I thought it was the start of forever. I didn't know I was marrying a lie. A soft voice with sharp hands. A man who smiled like light, but came with dark that never left. The first weeks felt like a dream. We moved into my place in Brooklyn. It was small, but warm. He said he loved it. He said he didn't care about size. He made eggs in the morning. He played music when I worked. He danced with me in the kitchen. But then, little things started to change. He stopped going out. He said the firehouse was too much, too many sad faces. He said he wanted to work from home. He wanted to make films, real stories, stories that could change lives. I said yes. I wanted him to be happy. I said I could take care of things for a while. Then came the things he needed. A camera, a new laptop, a desk, a car. Not for me, he said, for the story. He smiled. He kissed my head. I didn't ask questions. I paid. Then came the nights. Nights he stayed out. Meetings, he said. Writers, he said. He came back, smelling like new places, loud places. He didn't tell me much. I tried to be the good wife. I made dinner. I asked about his day. He gave me short words, no eye contact. One night, I touched his arm. He moved away. Something in me broke, something quiet. But I told myself, he's just tired. He's just working. He loves me. At least, that's what I wanted to believe. I didn't see it yet, but I had opened the door and let a storm walk in. One morning, Liam said he got an offer. A group in LA wants to work with me, he said. They want real stories, real people. I smiled. That's great. He kissed me. I won't be long, just 4 days. He packed fast. Camera, clothes, new shoes. He didn't let me help. The night before his flight, he held me close. I love you, he said. This is for us. I watched him walk through the airport gate. I felt proud. I felt lucky. I didn't know I should have felt fear. He didn't call the first night. He sent one text the next day. Busy. Then nothing. I called. It rang. He didn't pick up. I didn't sleep. I sat on the floor with my phone in my hand. On day 4, he came back. He smiled like nothing was wrong. He had a new coat, a new watch, a big bag. Good trip? I asked. Very, he said. He gave me a hug. I hugged back. But something was off. That night, I looked at the bag. There was a receipt inside. A dinner. $400. For 2. In Beverly Hills. I stared at it. My hands went cold. I searched online. I typed the name of the place. The first video that came up was of Liam. He was smiling, laughing, holding hands with a woman. She was famous, a news host. The caption said, "Back in L.A. with my man Idisha." My breath stopped. My head spun. My heart cracked. I sat on the floor again. But this time, I didn't cry. Not yet, because I still wanted it to be a lie. I waited 2 days. I said nothing. I needed to hear it from him. I needed him to lie to my face so I could stop hoping. He was in the kitchen. I walked in. I placed the receipt on the table. "What's this?" I asked. He looked at it, then at me. "It's nothing," he said. "Just dinner." "With who?" "A friend," he said. "Someone from the project." I showed him the video. His face changed. Not scared, not sorry. Just cold. "Why are you looking me up?" he asked. "You don't trust me?" I felt my hands shake. "You didn't tell me the truth," I said. "You stayed out. You hid this." He stepped closer. "Stop acting like a child," he said. "It was work. She's just a friend. We had dinner. That's all." She held your hand. He laughed. "You think I'd fall for her? She's nothing like you." But that didn't help. That hurt more. "Why didn't you call?" I asked. "Why didn't you just tell me the truth?" He walked away. "I don't need this," he said. "You're too much." The door slammed. I stood there, still. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But I just stood. The world felt quiet. But not the good kind. Something had snapped. And I think he knew. That night, he didn't come home. And for the first time, I didn't want him to. He came back 3 days later. I was sitting at the table. Cold coffee, cold hands. He walked in like nothing happened. No bag, no sorry, no truth. He said, "I needed space." Then he looked at me like I was the one who broke us. "I work hard," he said. "I give everything. You just watch and judge." I didn't speak. I had nothing left to say. He went to the shower. I stayed at the table. After he fell asleep, I walked to his work desk. It was a mess, but something felt off. There was a folder, papers inside. I opened it. Bank letters, loan bills, credit cards, all in his name. Some had red stamps. Final warning. Default notice. I kept reading. One letter stopped me. It had my name, my number, my signature, but I never signed it. He used my info. He took out a loan, $90,000. My heart dropped. My breath left me. I sat on the floor and held the paper. The next morning, I put it on the table. When he came in, he froze. "What is this?" I asked. He didn't answer. He just looked at me, eyes dark. Then he said, "It's for us. I needed to do it. For the dream." Without asking me, he stepped close. "You're my wife. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine." My hands shook. My chest burned. And that was the first time I felt fear. Real fear. Because now I knew he didn't just lie. He used me. And he wasn't done. I didn't sleep that night. I locked the bedroom door. I sat on the floor. I held my knees. I could hear him walking outside the room, talking to himself. He knocked once, then twice. "Sophie, let me in," he said. "We can fix this." I stayed quiet. The next morning, he acted normal. He made eggs. He played music. But I stayed in the room. That afternoon, I called my dad. I hadn't told him much before. I didn't want to worry him. But now, I needed help. He came the next day, quiet, serious. He hugged me long and tight. We sat down. I showed him the loan paper, the bank letter, the video, the bills. He didn't say much, but his hands turned to fists. He said, "You're not alone. We'll fix this." He brought a lawyer the next day. They stayed in the living room with Liam for 2 hours. I sat upstairs. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Then my dad came up. His face was calm. "It's done," he said. "He signed. He'll leave. He'll get nothing." I looked at him. He agreed. We showed him everything. He knows he can't fight it. If he does, it'll all come out. I nodded. My eyes burned. But I didn't cry. That night, Liam packed. He didn't say a word. He walked out the front door. And just like that, the man I once called my home was gone. The house was still, but for the first time in a long time, the quiet didn't hurt. Hey, are you still watching? If yes, I just want to say please take care of your heart today. You matter. The days after felt strange. I walked through the house like I was in a dream. His cup was still in the sink. His shoes were by the door, but the air felt clean. At night, I sat by the window. I looked out at the street. No more waiting for footsteps. No more fake smiles. But I didn't smile either. I was tired, not in my body, but in my soul. Some nights, I cried, quiet, not because I missed him, but because I missed the girl I was before him. She was kind. She was full of hope. She believed in love. And now she felt lost. My dad called every day. He told me I was strong. He told me not to give up on myself. I wanted to believe him. I started going on long walks, around the block, down to the park. One day, I walked past a small art shop. In the window, a sign said, "Pottery class, all welcome." I stopped. I went inside. I signed up. The first day, my hands were stiff. I dropped the clay. People laughed a little. I laughed too. But when I touched the wheel again, something clicked. The clay was soft, like me. It bent, it broke, but it could be made new. I wasn't good, not yet, but it felt real. And after all the lies, real was more than enough. I moved out of Brooklyn. The walls there knew too much. Every room had a shadow. So I packed 2 bags and went north. Albany was quiet, slower. My mom grew up there. It felt like the right place to start over. I found a small home near the river. White fence, old trees, nothing fancy. I got a job at a local school. Not finance, not numbers. I taught young girls how to save money, how to read loan papers, how to protect what they build. I told them, never sign something you don't understand. They listened. I saw their eyes. They were like mine before I learned the hard way. Each morning, I made tea. I sat by the window. No fear, no lies. Just me. One evening, a friend from New York called. She asked if I'd come to a talk at Columbia, a small event on stories of women. I said yes. That night, I wore a simple blue dress. I walked into the building. I smiled. I felt proud. Then I saw him, Liam, in a suit, holding a glass. Next to him, a girl, maybe 22. She looked at him the way I once did, with soft eyes. He didn't see me. I turned. I walked away. My heart didn't break. It didn't shake. It just whispered, "You made it." And I knew it was right. Some doors stay closed, so you can open better ones. I didn't look back. I walked out of that building with my head up. The cold air touched my face, but I felt warm inside. That night, I sat at my desk. I opened my laptop, and I wrote. The words came fast, like they had waited for me, like they were tired of being quiet. I wrote about lies. I wrote about trust. I wrote about how love can feel like light and still leave you in the dark. I didn't write his name. I didn't have to. The story wasn't about him. It was about me, the girl who wanted love, the woman who found truth. I wrote for girls like me, girls who gave too much, girls who thought they had to fix what broke them. I wrote until the sun came up. 2 weeks later, I sent it to a small press. They said yes. The book came out in spring. It had no fancy cover, just white pages, black letters, and one small line on the front. To the one who thought I would stay quiet. I didn't tell many people, but word spread. Women wrote to me. Some said thank you. Some said, me too. And I knew this was the end of one story, but the start of a much better one. One with no lies. One with no fear. One where I wrote the ending and no one else. I walk to the river most mornings. The water moves slow. The sky looks wide. It makes me feel small, but in a good way. There's a bench near the bridge. I sit there. I breathe. I think of who I was and who I'm becoming. Some days, I bring my clay. I shape it with my hands. I don't rush. If it falls apart, I start again. People pass by. Some wave, some don't. But I smile anyway. A little girl once asked, "What are you making?" I said, "Something new." She nodded. Me too. I still carry the scar. It doesn't hurt now, but it stays. A small mark that says, "You lived." I don't hate him. Not anymore. Hate takes too much, and he's already taken enough. I don't wait for love to knock. If it comes, it comes. But now, I open the door only when it feels right. I look in the mirror, and I see someone I trust. Not perfect, not always strong, but honest. And that is more than enough. So if you're sitting in silence tonight, if you're scared or tired, or feel like your heart can't take one more hit, I see you. You're not broken. You're bending, and you will rise. Not the same, never the same, but wiser, braver, and ready to write your next page, your way. Sometimes, the people who smile the softest are the ones who hide the most. Sophie did not fall because she was weak. She fell because she gave her heart without asking for truth, and that is not something to feel shame for. Trust is not a mistake, but giving it to the wrong hands can cost more than money. It can take your time, your peace, your sense of self. Still, even in that loss, something grows. Sophie walked through pain, but she walked out stronger, not louder, not harder, just more sure of who she is. The world told her to stay quiet, to forget, to move on like nothing happened. But she did something harder. She healed. Then she spoke. And that changed everything. The soft voice she once gave to someone else, she took it back and used it for herself. That is not just survival. That is power. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that stays. The kind that writes its own name. The kind that builds again. Not from what was lost, but from what was found after. Maybe you've been there too. Maybe you gave your heart to someone who smiled sweet, but spoke sharp behind closed doors. Maybe you stayed quiet, even when the hurt was loud. Maybe you thought love meant giving more, even when you had nothing left. And maybe, like Sophie, you've walked through days that felt too heavy, but you still got up. Not all pain looks the same. Some wear nice suits. Some hold your hand while breaking it. But the truth always comes. And when it does, it's not there to crush you. It's there to clear the path. If this story made you feel something, if you thought of someone while watching it, send it to them. Not to say, "Look what I found," but to say, "You're not alone." Or maybe just, "This might help." Because sometimes one quiet story is all it takes to ease a storm inside someone. Or maybe you just want to make someone smile tonight. And that's a good reason too. They might not say it out loud, but they'll be thankful. Just like Sophie, who never thought she'd smile again, until she did. If you liked the story, comment number 7. If you think the story could be better, Comment number 8. We are always here, working hard to bring you the best stories. Thank you for watching, our dear friends. Your support means everything to us. See you in the next story.